What's up, troop? In today's video, I want to start a new series of going over one thing that a particular artist taught me. And I thought I would kick this off with something that goes way back with me, and that is Rosco, and the one thing that I took from his masterclass with computer music way back in the early 2000s. Here's a quick clip showing what I'm talking about.
And stuff like that. A lot of the noises in my tunes are just straight recorded on the mic.
And here's an example of one of the new production templates I put out this year, 2024, that still uses exactly this technique. And in today's video, I'm going to go over exactly how I made this sound right here. So that you can do this kind of thing in your music production. Today's video is sponsored by DistroKid. They let me get my music out to all of the major distributors, and they do that at a price an independent artist can easily afford. If you're ready to get your music or beats out there and want to release an unlimited amount of music each year, check the link in the description below for a discount off of your first year of unlimited distribution with DistroKid. All right, so let's record it in. There's a little breakdown in the track here where we build up. Into the sublime. I'm going to make another riser in that section there. So I've got suck it up just here. I'm going to copy that channel with Command and D, and we'll disable the effects. We'll have a look at those in just a minute. And what's important here is that you can see my input coming in here when I'm talking. If I press R, you still see it in there, but it's no longer record armed, so that wouldn't happen. If I switch over to this channel, it moves over to there. So we need to make sure that's set up as well. So you go over into Logic up the top, into settings, into audio, and we need to change our input device. Now I've set this up to be this iRig mic because it's simple and easy for me to use and sounds good. If you're using, say, a MacBook, you just use the stock audio. You've got to set up whatever your input settings are right here, whatever is going to be the one for you. You know, your MacBook microphone might be completely fine in this case. Once we've made the channel for that, we then need to set the input on that channel. So you can see up here it says in 1, and there's only going to show up with a couple of inputs in this case because of what I'm using. If you're using a microphone that's built into your machine, there won't be any input. You just need to make sure it is set to 1. When we've selected the channel, we need to make sure it's record armed, and that way it is going to record in when we hit record and we're ready to play it in. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get nice and close to my microphone. And for this whole section here, I'm going to try and slowly breathe in and make it so it ramps up and gets louder as we sort of crescendo in the track. And there we are. Here is our sample. Now my timing wasn't incredible there. I've ran out of lung capacity with about a bar to go, but we can move it forward like that. So let's just have a listen to what we've got with no effects. So I think we sort of peak right about here. So I'd bring that right up to be the drop moment, which I think happens on 161 here. So now two of the effects that I used on here, really simple. First one is fuzz wah, and it basically adds a bit of like a cabinet sound. Now you could use the guitar cabinets, they're an awesome effect. So this is just what I used in this instance, and here's why. Is we can make that resonance sweeping sound like we would get when we make a filter sweep on some white noise. And that's just done because of this auto wah, the modern wah with the auto gain, and the range is set like so. Very simple. And then the fuzz, which adds a little bit of distortion in. And then we've got chroma right after that. Set to strange room, really wet, synced into 1 bar decay. And that helps with all of the earlier parts of the sound here. Now on this one, there is something else I'm going to do because I've noticed creeping in, there's some sneaky super low end there. So if we just add channel EQ, have a look on the channel EQ, we can see it down here. That might cause us some problems. So we're just going to put a fade on there like so. and just look after that. Okay, so we're getting there. The other thing you heard is it goes left to right initially with the other sample. So what we can do right here, switch on the automation lane just by pressing A, and we're going to have it on pan right here. And what I like to do is basically do markers in here and just move it from marker to marker. So if we start here, go like every quarter bar. This is where I wish Logic had like the FL Studio function to basically have an LFO in as your automation lane. As well, a nice trick as it comes in can be to start panning a little less. So dial it back into the middle a little bit more each time. Now we're sort of bringing it under control, so to speak. Just going to wobble less and less there for us and almost finish central. So now we've got this. We're just going to turn the automation lanes back off. Now I think this is going to need to stop pretty much dead on the 61. So I'm just going to drag this back and make this fade happen really, really fast. And there's a couple of like mouth noises as I'm prepping at the start here. So I'm just going to bring that in and fade that in a touch more. What I think would work really nice with this as well is some stereo delay. That gives it a slightly different tail off. We can up the outputs a little bit. We'll do both as 1/4, but we'll give some slight deviation between the left and right. And feedback can be like that. A little bit of cross feed might be quite nice as well. Let's try that. That sweeps off quite nicely. Now the other thing we need to do is definitely dial it back. I would personally just go to gain over here, probably knock about 3 dB off, and then any fine tuning we can do with the fader at a mix stage. The reason I still use this and love it is because every single time it's different. You can never recreate exactly the same sound, feeling, tone over and over and over. It's always completely 100% unique to you. It's your own sample, your own little bit of uniqueness. It's really easy to do. Logic on a MacBook, it's now got built-in microphones that are fantastically good for this kind of thing. And even if not, it adds that kind of ambience and quality and unique texture that you can place into your music.